Welcome to Math Cafe. Enjoy math sip by sip. This is the fourth part of the chapter Continuity and Differentiability, and in this part we are going to see what is differentiability, how do we check the differentiability of a function at a given point, and the application questions. Just like continuity, I hope you have watched the previous videos where it deals details about the continuity of a function. I hope you remember that a function is said to be continuous at a point when f of a is defined and the left limit and right limit exist, and that should be equal to the value of the function at that point. The first condition is the function will be differentiable at a point a whenever it is defined at a and it should be continuous, then only we can think about the differentiability. And continuity means you know that it should be from the left limit and a right limit, and this is the condition. A function f of x is differentiable at a if limit x tends to a minus f of x minus f of a by x minus a equal to limit x tends to a plus f of x minus f of a by x minus a, and that will give you the derivative at a, or limit h tends to 0 minus f of a plus h minus f of a by h, that's equal to right hand side derivative, and again when both are equal that will give the derivative at a. Usually we'll say this is left hand derivative should be equal to the right hand derivative, and then the function is differentiable. So a function is differentiable only when it is continuous. Now I am showing the fundamentals of derivative, what is derivative and what is the meaning of derivative in detail. Those who are thorough about that idea, you can skip to the problem section followed by this explanation. What we have learned from last year, what is derivative? See, walking from one point to another point B, starting from a point A to another point B, and it takes some time, and I have moved some distance. So the rate of change of distance with respect to the time will give my exact speed and how much faster I am walking. We know that the rate of change of displacement with respect to time, we call it as velocity. The derivative is always rate of change of one quantity with respect to another quantity. That is why rate of change of displacement will give you velocity, and the rate of change of velocity will give you acceleration. Displacement, if I take s, it is ds by dt, that is equal to velocity. Always it matters what is changing with respect to what, that gives basically the exact idea. So rate of change of displacement with respect to time will give you velocity, and rate of change of velocity with respect to time, that will give you acceleration. Or this is if you are differentiating acceleration, what you will get, what is rate of change of acceleration, and such a quantity is existing or not. I'm leaving that thought to you. I'll give a simple example to understand. Basically there will be a function y equal to f of x, and this y stands for yourself, and this f of x is your parent, or consider your father. Father is the x variable and yourself is a y variable. So x is the independent variable and y, of course, you are always depends upon your parent or your father. Now any change in the mood of your father definitely will affect you also. The rate of change of your mood is totally depends upon the change of mood in your parent. That is what is derivative. Let us see now what is mathematically derivative means. Consider the function y is equal to f of x, and I have sketched the graph of this function f of x, and as you see I have taken a point P on the graph, and at that point P the coordinate of point will be x f of x, and this point is moving along the path y is equal f of x. After some time it reaches the coordinate q, and it is named as x plus h comma f of x plus h. This line PQ is crossing the curve at 2 points, and therefore this line is called a secant line. Assume that this line is making an angle theta with the positive direction of x-axis, and this angle also will be same as theta as their corresponding angles. Now let us see the value of tan theta from the right triangle PRQ. Tan theta equal to QR divided by PR. QR means this is Qn minus Rn divided by On minus Om. And as you know that this Qn you can say y2 minus y1, or from the figure it is f of x plus h minus f of x divided by this whole thing is x plus h minus x, that will become h. That is what is the value of tan theta for this figure. Now comes the main idea. See what will happen to this expression when h approaches to 0. When limit h approaches to 0, f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. What will happen to this quantity? Simple thing, when this h is 0 means the q will coincide with exactly with the p. And then if the point q coincide with the p, what will happen to the secant? Obviously the secant line will become as what? A tangent, and this line will be moved and that became what? A tangent. And therefore we are getting limit h tends to 0, f of x plus h minus f of x by h. Whenever this quantity existing, this is becoming slope of the tangent at p to the given curve y is equal to f of x. This is what the mathematical meaning of derivative. When somebody is asking what is derivative, don't say derivative sin x is cos x. You must be able to say the first meaning, derivative is nothing but the rate of change of one quantity with respect to another quantity. That's one meaning. And the second meaning is that the derivative will give you always slope of the tangent to the curve at a specific point. I repeat, at a specific point. And for a curve, you will have infinite number of tangents. At each and every point you will have a different slope and will have a different tangent. See, I have made a graph here as you seen, and the slope is equal to m is equal to 3.69. It is the opposite side by adjacent side, or change in y divided by change in x. Everywhere the slope is keep changing. When I am taking the point as 1, the slope is exactly 2, and if I move to other points, the slope is keep changing. And if you see here, in all these cases, this is an acute angle and slope is always positive. And if I move to the other side, see, the angle is becoming an obtuse angle and the slope is obviously become negative, as tan of more than 90 value will give you always negative slope. Each point the slope keep changing. That's what we need to keep in mind. And derivative means it is the slope of the tangent to the curve at a given point. Now to say a function is differentiable at a point, you can reach the point P from the left of P or from the right of P. We must use differentiability from the left side as well as the right side. And as you have seen, this function is already continuous. Differentiability will be possible only when the function is continuous. So we can say whenever a function is differentiable, it is always continuous. But all the continuous functions need not be differentiable. This is what we need practically to check a function is differentiable at a or not. Limit h tends to 0 minus f of a plus h minus f of a by h equal to limit h tends to 0 plus f of a plus h minus f of a by h. But I suggest you use this formula, that is more easier to do the questions. If you want to find the differentiability at x is equal to a, this is more useful or more comfortable way, and this generally will call it as left hand derivative, and this term is called right hand derivative, and both must be equal to one other. Limit x tends to a minus f of x minus f of a by x minus a. Limit x tends to a plus f of x minus f of a by x minus a. Why I suggested this formula to do the question? Because we know that slope means basically y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, and we already seen that the slope means it is the derivative of the function to a given point. That is why either you can use the first formula or this formula to check the differentiability of the function. Let us see some examples. F of x is equal to x minus 3 when x less than 2 and 2x minus 5 when x greater than or equal to 2, and I need to find the differentiability of the function at x is equal to 2. The first thing, the function must be defined at the point 2. So we need to assure that the function is defined at 2. F of 2. See here it is equal sign comes at this condition. So 2 into 2 minus 5. So 4 minus 5 will give you negative 1. I am going for the left hand derivative. That means I need to find the derivative of the function when x approaches to 2 from the left of 2. I will write limit x tends to 2 minus f of x minus f of 2 divided by x minus 2. That is equal to limit x tends to 2 minus, what is the value of f of x when x approaches to 2 minus c? When x less than 2 we have x minus 3. That means x minus 3 minus f of 2 we have already calculated minus 1 divided by x minus 2. That will give you limit x tends to 2 minus x minus 3 minus of minus plus 1, that will be x minus 2 by x minus 2. Both get cancelled, therefore the value is 1. Now let us check the right hand derivative. RHD, the same formula again, so you don't want to remember again different things. Just to check the function value, that's all we need to be taken care of. F of x minus f of 2 by x minus 2, the same thing. Now when x approaches to 2 plus, check what is the value of the function, and we know that it is 2x minus 5. Again f of 2 is minus 1 divided by x minus 2, and that when you simplify you will get x tends to 2 plus 2x minus 4 by x minus 2, and if you factorize you will get 2 times x minus 2 by x minus 2. Cancel that, that is equal to 2. That is, the left hand derivative is not equal to right hand derivative at x is equal to 2. Therefore the function is not differentiable at x is equal to 2. That is what is the proof. Let us see the second question. F of x is equal to modulus of x minus 1, and we need to find the differentiability of this function at x is equal to 1. This is our favorite function, modulus function, and you know that when it is 1, this function is going to take the value 0, and we need to ensure where this becomes negative and positive. If you take some value smaller than 1, obviously this side will be negative and that side will be positive. The first thing is, first you redefine the function in such a way that it makes the things always easier. Say first x less than 1, and we know that this is going to be negative, and we need to add a negative sign to make the function well defined. And here you can write x is equal to 1, then that will make the things more easier. 1 minus 1 is 0, and when x greater than 1, that is x minus 1. Please keep in mind, whenever modulus function comes, please redefine as per the condition at which the value of the function becomes 0 and split accordingly, and everything will be very easier. Now we'll go for the actual proof. First thing, we are finding derivative at 1, so f of 1, it is 0, well defined. Then left hand derivative, limit x tends to 1 minus f of x minus f of 1 by x minus 1, and this again repeat. This is easiest formula to remember, y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. Now x is approaching to 1 from the left of 1, that means negative of x minus 1 minus, what is f of 1? 0, divided by x minus 1, it get cancelled, minus 1. Let us see the right hand derivative. Limit x tends to 1 plus f of x minus f of 1 by x minus 1. And as you know, when limit x approaches to 1 plus, that means x is approaching to 1 from the right of 1. So we must choose the value of the function as x minus 1 minus f of 1 already 0 whole divided by x minus 1, and when you simplify you get 1. And we have already got left hand derivative is negative 1, and which is not equal to the right hand derivative. Therefore the function is not differentiable at x is equal to 1. That is what is our conclusion. If it is an MCQ, you don't want to do anything. If you can visualize this part as the definition of the modulus function, you know this is minus 1 and this is going to be positive 1. So it will be never differentiable, and you can finish it off easily. Hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you for watching Math Cafe. Please like, subscribe and share.